All right, what is going on, Haunt Nation? This is your man with the plan, Ant, and this is a review for the USS Nightmare in Newport, Kentucky for the 2023 season. Just on the border of Cincinnati and Kentucky, like basically right over the bridge. The USS Nightmare is a really cool, very different haunt just because of what it is. USS Nightmare is I believe it's a barge boat. It's kind of like a paddle boat, but it's got paddles on other sides and it's really flat, low to the ground. So it's like a paddle boat, but it's a barge boat and it is moored right there. Um, Big old inflate skull on top, couple banners that say it's the USS Nightmare. There is parking on site, just kind of basically park on the pier. So you'll come through and around and into this pier area. It's off to the right, not off to the left. I started walking to the left and I was like, I don't see shit. Where is this thing? There it was to the right. I've been to the USS Nightmare once before, several years ago. I enjoyed it then. Did I enjoy it now? Bet your fucking ass I enjoyed it now. Absolutely enjoyed it. Ticketing is in person and it is on the phone. I thought they would have two separate lines. They had two lines and the two lines just were one, which made no sense. So had to get on the line, had to wait on the ticket line where people were buying tickets. And they basically just scanned the ticket on the phone there at the booth and then sent us off to the haunt. Full disclosure, I went and did the RIP experience. So this is what this review is based off of their RIP experience. The RIP experience there isn't what a lot of places, for a lot of places the RIP is basically just a jump the line pass, right? So this place has a regular haunt experience, an RIP experience, which includes a bunch more interactive stuff for you and your group. And they have an RIP and like jump the line experience, which is the RIP experience, but you're just able to jump to the front of the line. I didn't think that was going to be necessary. It was my second haunt of the night. First haunt was a Dent Schoolhouse. Got there at opening. This place didn't close until 1 a.m. Knew I had plenty of time to make it through. You know, it was only about 20 minutes to a half hour away from Dent, so wasn't buying the jump the line, but I did buy the RIP experience. With the RIP experience, they give you a necklace with a little flashing USS Nightmare medallion. That's how they can tell you're in the RIP experience as opposed to a person who is just a normal patron of the haunt. Wait on the line. There was one line creeper that I saw running around with a chainsaw. He got taken out by a patron, knocked down, which was very interesting. Other than that, no line creepers to talk about. You go down eventually across a plank onto the boat, obligatory photo spot against a green screen. And then RIP experience people went one way and the non-RIP experience people went another way onto the regular line. So when we got down there, we were waiting online. We got pulled in by ourselves. I was a little shocked at first because they also put a group of non-RIP people in with us. We were the only RIP people there at the moment, so we were there. They put non-RIP people in with us. We got the whole beginning story of the haunt. The haunt all takes place on a ship, and for the most part has a lot to do with the ship, the captain, the ship being in a terrible accident and whatnot. Hold on. Oh yeah. Special thanks to Meg for introducing me to Hoop Tea. It is a spiked tea beverage. So it's like iced tea, but with a little bit of alcohol in it. So it's not too bad. Actually just tastes like regular iced tea. So if you're a lightweight, I think it's got 5% alcohol in it. If you're a lightweight and you drink iced tea like water, you'll probably be blitzed fairly quickly. Anyway, after that we went into a section which was something like you would have, like you definitely could put a group into this section, and then off into the haunt proper. Once we got off into the haunt proper, we got pulled out of the group. And that is the beauty of the RIP. You're basically going through the haunt itself. So you were seeing the whole haunt. We saw the whole haunt. Walked through the whole thing, all the animatronics. different parts of the ship, and that's what really makes it cool, is they integrate the ship into the whole thing. So you're basically walking through a ship. You know, there are ship doors and, you know, pipes and boiler rooms and, you know, all sorts of really cool things you would see on a ship, but, you know, dressed up as a haunt. All of the actors had appropriate costumes and makeup for their sections. There were also a few small people, little children, that were helping out, that were very, very into their job. And like I said, the beauty of the RIP is you're getting pulled out. So we got pulled out to do a couple of like escape room type things, a couple of separate interactive stuff where it's far more interactive experience, where you have the actors directly interacting with you, asking you questions, telling you to do things. Somehow I wound up having to do 20 push-ups, and that was fun. Yeah, you might drink things. We actually got candy at one point for doing something correctly. Like I said, a couple little escape room experiences. I actually got separated from my group, and they got to do the same escape room that I did, but we did it completely separately. I got out, like a 5-minute escape room. I made it out with 2 minutes to spare. They did not. But yeah, just a lot of different interactive experiences on top of walking through, you know, the haunt and being interacted with just on a regular haunt level. It's a little bit more interactive. Think even the regular haunt itself, think more along the lines of wrong. Think more along the lines of Waldorf State of Fear or in the 13th Hour Indianapolis, but not quite as much. You know, 13th Hour Indy was more like walk into a room, we interact with you, walk on. It's similar, but not quite as much. More of a traditional haunt with those kind of elements in it. But yeah, just a really great haunt. Like, there are parts where you're walking through parts of the ship where you can actually look through the you know, the floors are metal grating, and you can see the water. You know, I think it's a river that runs through it, that it's moored on, where you can actually see the water underneath you, which is really cool. Spoke to somebody in a different haunt that told me they used to have slides in that haunt, which is kind of cool. He said when it was in Pennsylvania, I guess it used to be in Pennsylvania, they had slides where you had to get in a burlap sack and slide. There were no slides, which that sounds cool as hell to me, but again, all in all, I mean, it's just a singular experience. It's something completely different, but it is a haunt. It is a more interactive haunt than a lot of haunts where there are just jump scares. They do interact with you, talk to you. You feel like you're part of the show, so to speak. And yeah, just a really cool experience. They had one photo op really at the end after you come out of the haunt. There was like one photo op, and other than that, they had like one small concession stand with just basic snacks like potato chips and candy. They were selling the photos there as well. I didn't want the photo. Again, this is another haunt this year that didn't have any kind of wow, that was so loud. That did not have any kind of t-shirts that I was interested in. I have a USS Nightmare t-shirt from the last time I went that I thought was cool as hell. This time, didn't see anything that I wanted, so didn't get it. So again, my experience was the RIP experience. I would recommend everyone do the RIP experience. It's just that much cooler than just going through the haunt, you know? And it wasn't that much more expensive. I think the haunt was $25. I think the RIP was like $40. So definitely worth the extra money. Hopefully that money goes to the actors and actresses in the haunt, because they did a great job. Very immersive. They were really into their jobs. Nobody broke character. Appropriate costuming. Set pieces were great. There were a lot of animatronics as well as just decorations. Some of them didn't go off quite at the right time. There was one that went off after we walked through. Oh, and that's one more thing I wanted to say with the RIP experience. When we were done with our, being pulled out of whatever line, or there really wasn't a line, but we were being pulled out and into the separate area, the actresses went out of their way to make sure, like when they were done with us on our section, they would look out, make sure we weren't going to be right on top of another group, which is fantastic, because who wants that, right? And they made sure that we weren't going to be on top and sent us on our way. So really appreciated that as well. So again, another great haunt. This has been a great haunt season so far. We're not even out of September yet, and I'm so happy so far. USS Nightmare in Newport, Kentucky. I have it up on my laptop because I know it's in Kentucky, but I didn't know the name of the city. In Newport, Kentucky. Just a fantastic haunt. Gonna go with that one again. Gonna give it a solid 8. This one's another one that's between an 8 or an 8.5. I'm really torn, so I'm just gonna go a little lower. I'm gonna go with an 8. It's nothing against them. It's nothing negative at all. 8, 8.5. Take your pick, one or the other. It's right there. And it's just a great haunt. Definitely worth your time. Definitely worth your money. But go for the RIP experience. My opinion, that's absolutely the way to go. And when I go again, I'm going to do that again. Would I like to just go through and see the haunt by itself so I can compare it? Yeah, I guess kind of. So I can give you guys a contrast between the two. Is it necessary? I don't think so, because you're seeing the haunt, but you're just getting extras. I think the extras make it better. Matter of fact, I think the extras probably push it to that 8.5. You'd probably get between a 7.5 and an 8 with just the haunt proper. Anyway, so that was the 2023 review for the USS Nightmare in Newport, Kentucky, and I'll be on to the next one shortly. See ya.